Hello, I am Illyriana, and today we're going to do a quick video about shoulder aiming within Sniper Elite 4, as you can see by the title screen already. You may look through the internet on other videos about shoulder aiming, but there really aren't any that tell you precisely what it is, and what you should do to avoid it. So, we're doing this video to hopefully explain to you what it is, how you can stop it, and become the default explanation on most, if not all, servers, but there are no more debates about it within admins and players. So, let's jump into a single player game just for now, and later on, we'll hop into a private multiplayer game with one of our clan members, just to show you the full range of shoulder aiming. Okay. So, here we are on San Celini Island, just at the first NPC you'll come across in the campaign. And this poor guy is going to be for demonstration purposes. Some of you who play the game may say when asked what is shoulder aiming, that it is when you're firing in the third person, just like this, with your rifle, or the only way you can fire with your secondary and your pistol. However, for admins of Sniper Elite 4 servers like myself and players who know what this issue is, we use the term shoulder aiming to describe a shot coming from behind or through a barrier without properly exposing yourself to your target, creating an unfair advantage within the multiplayer servers, just like this. Generally, there are two ways you're told to stop shoulder aiming depending on the multiplayer server you're on. One is stepping out from a wall just so you're exposing yourself enough to where the other players can shoot you. Or two is that when you fire, you're able to make the shot as if you're making the scope. While both ways help solve the issue, it is really number two we want to talk about. Making sure that when you take the shot, be it from your rifle, your pistol, or your secondary, that same shot can be made as if you were looking down the scope quite easily. Now, depending if you're the one firing or the one being shot, there are two things to look for. One, if the gun is shooting through the wall, like this, when there should be no physical way of doing so. And two, if your quarry can be seen on a scope. Or even your binoculars, as I'll just show you. Some of you may even bring up the fact that you can swap your aiming from shoulder to shoulder, and that while on your left shoulder, it's different when shoulder aiming, which it is. Because of the gun position when aiming over your left shoulder, you do generally expose yourself a little bit more, at least slightly, so that they'll be able to shoot you. But we'll show this off in just a bit when we hop into a multiplayer match with one of our clan members. But for now, we're just going to concentrate on the default right shoulder. As with the point of this video, we want to explain a method that can be used as a default on all servers that is both easy and fair, and all you need to do is think, can I make the same shot as if I was scoping? Well, you may see as swapping from your rifle and scope to make sure, right? Well, there is something easier to do, no matter what gun you're using, and that is to make sure that your gun is not shooting through a barrier, like this. However, this isn't the only issue that can occur. It actually doesn't matter if you're up against a wall like I've been. You could be 10, 20, 40 meters or whatever, away from the wall, and make the exact same shot while shoulder aiming, where normally you can't. So, we're going to now hop onto a multiplayer server with a clan member and show some more and explain a little bit better. Okay, here we are in a private deathmatch, and hello Via. Thank you for joining us.
Hello everybody.
Via here is part of the... well, is actually the owner of the Viacon DL server, or VCD for short. And he's going to help us show off shoulder aiming, both from the shooter's perspective, like earlier in the video, and you'll also be shooting us in the same way. As you can see, we are behind this wall, currently shoulder aiming at Via, and you cannot see us at all. Can you? Even though we can clearly shoot him like that. That should not have killed him. Anyway.
That was fun.
Yep. Shooting like this can and will get you kicked from a server, and continued use will even get you banned, which I don't think anyone wants. So to prevent an issue, just make sure to step out from the wall enough so that your gun isn't going through the wall like so. Now, as I said earlier, you don't need to be against the barrier to be shoulder aiming. You could be away from it. So I'll just do that right now to show you guys. But at an angle where you're still shoulder aiming just like so, as Via can tell if he can see us or not.
No, I can't see.
And yet you can still shoot, just like I am at his feet, so I don't kill him outright again.
Ouch.
Right. So sadly there's no real way for the shooter to really know when they are away from the wall enough if they are shoulder aiming, not unless they have a decent amount of experience in the game. So again, just to be safe, if you're wondering if you're shoulder aiming, just take a step or two to the side. Right, here we are, just with Via standing where I was, aiming at us with a clear shot while we can't see him at all. Now that wasn't very nice, was it? All fair. Via just shot us and clearly... Yep, and clearly killed us. And yet, we could not have shot him at all. Okay, when you get in position. You see dash across the screen.
Is it shoulder aiming again or not?
Yep. So I can't have a shot on you. You got a clear shot on me through around the wall?
Yeah.
Alright, so Via is likely to shoot us again in a second, but this time he won't even be against that wall. He'll be a few meters away and yet able to shoot us. That is just painful. Now if he takes a step or two to the side, you'll see that we're now able to see his gun. And even part of him because of it, making this a fair fight. And all of this applies to when you're standing, crouching, and even prone. As I said earlier, I would show you the shooting from over your left shoulder. Like so. If Via wants to aim at me. As we can see, we're able to see their backs enough to take a shot. We can actually see them enough. But it really isn't that much, and would still be classed as shoulder aim because he would not be able to take a shot at us as if he was scoping down his rifle. And again, the same with us. So, to wrap all this up, please just make sure your gun is exposed. But more importantly, get in the game and have fun. And as two of the admins from VCD, we hope to see you on our server, playing with us at some point, or even on other servers that host Sniper Elite 4 games.
Happy game.
Bye! Shut damn it.